The city of Chicago, Illinois, carried its own kind of magic at night. Tall buildings shimmered with thousands of glowing windows. Taxis raced down Michigan Avenue, and the wind whistled through the narrow streets as though the city itself was alive. For Emily Turner, Chicago was both home and mystery. She was 23, finishing her last year of graduate school in literature, and had dreams far larger than the skyline she admired every night from her small apartment window. But what she never expected was that her father's oldest friend would one day change her life forever. It began on a crisp autumn evening when Emily's father, Richard Turner, invited her to join him for dinner at a well-known restaurant downtown. "Emily, you should come tonight," he had said on the phone. "I want you to meet an old friend of mine from Boston. We go way back. You'll like him. He's got stories you'll love." Emily, always curious about people and their hidden lives, agreed. When she arrived, the restaurant was warm and glowing with candlelight. Her father stood near the entrance, his suit pressed neatly, his familiar smile wide. Beside him was a man she had never seen before. He was tall, perhaps in his early 30s, with dark hair brushed back neatly and eyes that carried a spark of curiosity. His smile was gentle, but carried something deeper, as though he knew how to read a person's heart without them saying a word. "Emily," her father said proudly, "this is Daniel Brooks. We went to college together back in Boston. He just moved to Chicago for work." Daniel extended his hand, his expression friendly, but almost searching. "It's good to finally meet Richard's daughter. He never stops talking about you." Emily shook his hand, and for a strange moment she couldn't pull her eyes away from his smile. It wasn't just polite, it was the kind of smile that seemed to understand her in ways no stranger should. She quickly looked away, embarrassed at her own thoughts. Dinner passed with easy laughter and endless stories between her father and Daniel. They spoke about old college memories, long road trips, and the days when they had nothing but dreams and empty wallets. Emily listened, fascinated by the way Daniel spoke, his voice calm and steady, each story alive with detail. And every so often, when he looked her way, that same smile returned. It unsettled her, yet pulled her closer at the same time. Over the next few weeks, Daniel began to appear more often. Sometimes he came over to her father's house for dinner. Other times, Richard asked Emily to show him around the city since she knew it better. At first, she resisted, not wanting to play tour guide, but Daniel's enthusiasm was disarming. They visited museums, coffee shops tucked away on quiet streets, and even the hidden corners of Millennium Park where fewer tourists went. One afternoon, as they walked by Lake Michigan, the wind tossing Emily's hair into her face, Daniel paused. "You remind me of Boston," he said softly. She laughed. "How so? I've never even been there." "It's not about the place," he replied with a smile. "Boston always felt like a city of hidden stories, quiet alleys, old bookstores, places you only discover if you're looking carefully. You're like that, Emily. You carry more than you let people see." His words stayed with her long after that day. She couldn't explain why, but she began to look forward to his presence, to his smile that seemed to see her in ways no one else did. And yet, a quiet guilt tugged at her heart. He was her father's closest friend. Nothing more could ever come of it, or so she told herself. But the heart rarely listens to reason. The turning point came one rainy evening. Emily had been working late at the library when she received a text from her father. "Daniel's stuck downtown in the storm. Can you give him a ride?" She agreed, driving her small car through the sheets of rain until she spotted him waiting under the glowing sign of a coffee shop. His jacket was soaked, but when he got in the car, he smiled at her with that same warmth that always unraveled her thoughts. "Thank you," he said softly. "I didn't want to bother you." "You're not a bother." she replied, before realizing how much truth her voice carried. The drive was quiet at first, the sound of rain filling the silence. Then Daniel spoke. Do you ever feel like life brings people together for reasons we don't understand yet? Emily's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Sometimes. He turned toward her, his voice low. I think meeting you feels like one of those reasons. Her breath caught. She couldn't look at him, not now. The city lights blurred through the rain on the windshield. All she managed to say was, You're my dad's friend. I know, he said, almost regretfully. But his smile lingered, though gentler now, as though it held both longing and restraint. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. She replayed every moment with him, every word, every smile.